এই চলে 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 না,
ওই হিলে 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 না,
আহা মরিবেশ।
Please settle. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly settle down. We are starting. Settle down. I'll request all delegates to kindly take their seats. The first Silchar Sylhet festival, where we talked of historical and cultural connectivity and cultural linkages. The result of this is going to the Silchar Sylhet festival, and we are going to have the first inaugural session on trade and commerce. And I'll now request Dr. Rajdeep Roy, who is the Member of Parliament from Silchar and has been
So here we are. Good morning, everybody. সবাইকে শুভ interesting start to the first international Silchar Sylhet festival yesterday. আমাদের মধ্যে আজকে inaugural trade from both India and Bangladesh. We'll have an interesting session of discussion. আমি প্রথমে আমাদের চেয়ার মঞ্চে আসার জন্য আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি। I would now request Sri Khambapati Hari Babuji, Governor of Mizoram, to come and occupy his chair at the podium. The chief guest for this inaugural trade and commerce session would be the Foreign Affairs Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen. I would now request him to come on stage. We have two guests of honor for this trade and commerce session. I will now request a very experienced and is the Minister for Environment and Forest, Act East Policy of Government of Assam and Welfare of Minorities. I would request Sri Chandra Mohan Patwari ji to come. Bangladesh High Commissioner to India, Sri Mustafizur Rahman সাহেব, উনিও আমাদের গেস্ট অফ অনার। আমি উনাকেও মঞ্চে আসন গ্রহণ করার জন্য আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি। Of the relationship that will be dictating Indo-Bangladesh ties in the coming days. Bangladesh, as you know, is surrounded by India by land border, and we have around 4,096 kilometers of land borders. And the other side of Bangladesh, on the southern side, it is open. বাংলাদেশের জন্য ভারতবর্ষকে ছেড়ে পৃথিবীর অন্যান্যের সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ করার জন্য যে জলপথ এবং সড়ক পথ আছে, countries from Bangladesh by air, always you can go. But land jodi diye jete hoy, if you have to go to Nepal, you have to cross India. You have to go to Bhutan, you have to cross India. You have to go to Myanmar, you have to cross India. এবং ইন্ডিয়ার জন্য আজকের দিনে বাংলাদেশ with a population of around 17-18 crores is a huge market, potential market. তো আমাদের we should be having a symbiotic relation. বেনিফিট দেবে ট্রেড এন্ড কমার্সে, ভারতবর্ষকেও ট্রেড এন্ড কমার্সে বেনিফিট দেবে। জলপথে যাতায়াত করা আমরা জানি যে এটা অনেক if I have to move 1 ton of goods for 1 kilometer by road, I need around 1 rupee 50 paisa per kilogram. But so আমাদের মধ্যে যে জলপথগুলো কথা 54 small and medium sized rivers, and this sort of conclaves or discussions and debates gives rise to newer ideas. Can we utilize these waterways at a very lower and cheap rate? So that will be the crux of discussion in the for initial remark, His Excellency Governor of Mizoram, Alok Bansalji, Director India Foundation, to start the discussion on trade and commerce. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajdeep Roy. Excellency Mohammad Mustafizur Rahman, High Commissioner of Bangladesh to India, to make his comments on trade and commerce. Over to you, sir.
Honorable Governor of Mizoram, Honorable Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Honorable Minister for Environment and Forest, Active Policy, Affairs and Welfare Minorities, Excellencies, distinguished business professionals, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to register my appreciation to the Indian Foundation. We are honored by the wholehearted hospitality and welcome that the organizers has offered to us. And afterwards there will be a long. I'll not go into the details of this issue. I have just arrived and joined my position as High Commissioner of Bangladesh in India. So it's a learning curve for me. I will learn from the discussions that we are going to have afterwards. However, since the job of an ambassador or a diplomat is to promote and protect commerce is undoubtedly the most important priority of a diplomat, and this is basically the engine of development. So I will services for the promotion of trade and commerce between our two friendly countries. The relationship is already very strong. But before that, I'll start with a few general points. Why Bangladesh is now a potential destination for doing business. Independent state in 1971 after a 9-month-long struggle under the charismatic leadership of Father of the Nation, Bangladesh Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. For emancipation of the downtrodden masses from economic oppression. So that's how trade and commerce become very much relevant. Bangabandhu shouldered the huge economy with almost nothing as resources. However, after his tragic assassination, as you are aware, this has halted Bangladesh's economy got a big momentum again when his able daughter, Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, took over the power of the country. Under her leadership, our government continues to sharpen its focus on more trade and export diversity, more foreign investment, and gainful employment of millions of people of our human resources. Today, there are many reasons for business and foreign companies to look Bangladesh as an important destination, and I'll mention just first, a steady macroeconomic environment, resilient domestic market, and export-oriented industry-led growth have positioned Bangladesh among the fastest growing economies in the world. Second, Bangladesh is well poised to take advantage of its demographic dividend. About 57% of our population is under 25, providing a youthful group for engagement to meet global standards. We also have a huge and increasing middle income population, middle class population. Any company positioning itself in Bangladesh now have guaranteed return for a generation. Third, Bangladesh has already created one of the most liberal investment regime in South Asia, featuring 100% foreign equity with profits and protection of foreign investment by creating continual environment for the investors and reducing the cost of doing business. Fourth, infrastructure. Infrastructure is one of the priority sectors of our government. Parts, some of which are already operational. And lastly, the geographic location of Bangladesh, which is ideal for global trade and commerce with its unique strategic position, regional connectivity, and worldwide access. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, India has been a time-tested and trusted partner for Bangladesh in all possible areas of cooperation, including trade and commerce. Today, Bangladesh is India's largest trade partner in South Asia, and India is the second largest trade partner of Bangladesh. The quantum of bilateral trade reached $18 billion milestone in 21-22, which is really, really a remarkable achievement. However, our two countries need to remain seized on removing whatever barriers remains to ensure equitable trade. The ongoing discussions on the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between Bangladesh and India should address the remaining blocks of our bilateral trade and commerce. I would request our Indian colleagues and authorities to make it further beneficial for our two countries and for our two peoples. I will request to reconsider anti-dumping and other few issues and duties that impose on Bangladeshi products, for example, jute and jute products. Our two countries should stand by each other under any circumstances, no doubt of that, and keeping respective markets open to ensure smooth, timely, and predictable supply of essential goods and services, including agricultural products. There is no doubt that mutual investment is one of the key drivers to big industries in Bangladesh, and then can export the products to northeastern states of India and to other Southeast Asian countries, taking advantage of improved also invest in two dedicated special economic zones for Indians, namely Mongla and Sherai, to broaden our export base. Of late, our Honorable Prime Minister has for enhancing connectivity with the northeastern states of India and for promoting trade and investment and trade and development of the region. Ladies and gentlemen, and I will conclude here. I will conclude by quoting Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Sabka Vikas. Dream together, let us work together. Thank you. Joy Bangla. Long live India Bangladesh relationship.
Thank you, sir, for such inspiring words. I'll now request Shri Chandramohan Patwari ji, Honorable Minister for Environment and Forest, Act East Policy Affairs and Welfare of Minorities, Government of Assam, to kindly address the day.
Honorable Governor of Mizoram, Sri Hari Babuji, His Excellency, the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Sri Abdul Momin, High Commissioner of Bangladesh to India, respected Sri Radhan, and Sri Alok Bansal, Director, India Foundation, on the dais, and honorable MPs and the delegates from Bangladesh present here, and respected members from India Foundation, and ladies and gentlemen present here. So first of all, I'd like to extend my thanks to India Foundation for organizing this event with the help of Cultural Affairs Department with Bangladesh, mainly Silchar International Summit. And in fact, India Foundation is really doing for Northeastern region many events to make our relationship good with Southeast Asian countries. So I had that experience that Ram Madhavji, who is present here, is our respected persons in Assam. So Ram Madhavji organized one youth exchange meet in Guwahati a few years back, and where from actually our interaction with the youths of Southeast Asian countries and India established. And apart from that, so our business with our business in Assam, or our business opportunities in Assam, to exploit the opportunities. So Ram Madhavji led one delegation to Guangzhou, where myself and Industry Minister of Nagaland was also a member in that delegation. So we have visited many industry sectors there, where we have learned a lot of experiences. So that way, India Foundation organized another event with Bangladesh in Radisson Blue Hotel Guwahati. So in that conclave also we discussed lot many things. And our Honorable Minister, External Affairs Ministers from Bangladesh, he visited Assam, and we had a long discussion with him. I was Industry Minister at that time. So we had a very long discussion with him, and now from Assam side, Numaligarh refinery is supplying diesel petrol to Bangladesh, and already they have laid a pipeline to Bangladesh, and it will be completed by this year. So it will be easy for Bangladesh to get petrol and diesel from Numaligarh refinery of Assam. And Numaligarh refinery's capacity now we have increased from 3 million ton to 9 million ton. Just to with the aim to supply our diesel, petrol, and petroleum products to Bangladesh and northern Myanmar side. So that way, our trade and commerce increasing in Assam, and our stones and coal, all are we are exporting to Bangladesh. Now, for increasing, for the better trade and commerce. So our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, he says that highways are very much essential to increase our trade and commerce. The first one is highways. So our highways in Assam are up to the mark. Second was railways. So railways also are in Assam now, electric railway and all, W railways. So our railway, second point, railways also up to the mark. And third is waterways. So our waterways also we are improving now, and this is waterways. And fourth is airways. So in airways also, yesterday with Madhavji we had discussion when he came Assam before 2016 as our party leader, and yesterday discussing Guwahati airport, that there were actually two flights flight from Guwahati airport. Now 150 flights actually flying from Guwahati airport, and 60 lakhs you see passengers per annum footfall is there in Guwahati airport. So our airways also has been developed. All airways, Dibrugarh airport will develop, Jorhat airport will develop, Lakhimpur airport will develop, the abandoned airport in Rupsi we have development started, and it is a good news for all of us, and particularly for the Barak Valley, that we are going to have one greenfield airport here in Silchar also. So greenfield airport will start very soon because already land acquisition and payment is made, and this greenfield airport will connect Dhaka and neighboring countries from this place, from Silchar. So airways, and fifth is the highways. So our internal service is little slow, and slow in a sense that we are getting connection from Chennai or Mumbai actually IT gate. But Bangladesh Cox's Bazar, so they have got one IT gate in Cox's Bazar. We have discussed with Bangladesh government in Indo-Bangladesh summit at Guwahati, held at Guwahati. And that time we discussed, and Bangladesh government was kind enough to give us, to allow us to bring connection from that. And our Ashwini Vaishnav, Honorable Minister of Railway and IT, we requested him, and with the permission of MEA, now we are bringing IT connection from Cox's Bazar to Assam. So these 5 ways, according to our Prime Minister Modi's, so we have developed. And now I'd like to give some information regarding roadways. Already from Act East Policy Affairs we pursued Minister of External Affairs, and they agreed. It is a good news for us that from Guwahati, Shillong, Silchar, Sylhet, Dhaka, we are flying a bus within very short time, passenger bus. So that is already permission we obtained from MEA. And secondly, this railway, this Mohisasan rail station here near, you see, Indian part, Karimganj. So that was actually destroyed by Pakistani army during 1965 Indo-Pak war. So that is also we have taken up, and I'd like to inform here that MEA cleared that project, and it is a good news for all of us, for the people of Bangladesh and for the people of Assam, as well India, that within the month of December, we are completing the disrupted railway part from Mohisasson to Bangladesh within this December, month of December. And secondly, the Karimganj rail station. So it will be a beautiful rail station. It will be converted to a beautiful rail station where we can do our export. We are going to have some more terminals and customs and all these things will be there. So that will be completed within March of 23, March 23. So that way our railway. And third, our air connectivity. So we are going to connect 6 destinations from Guwahati with Southeast Asian countries. So out of 6 destinations, one is Dhaka. So from Bangladesh side, actually we are requested that if the flight from Guwahati, instead of directly to Dhaka, if it goes as a hopping flight from Guwahati, Sylhet and Dhaka, then it is good. So that way we have actually sent a proposal from Actis Policy Affairs Department to MEA. Once it is permission comes, already permission policy has been got. MEA, once it is Guwahati, Sylhet, Dhaka, so that we are planning to fly from actually Assam. Then what happen, our relationship will be more cordial, and this flight will be under Assam. Then what happen, our relationship will be more cordial, and this flight will be under international Sudan scheme. So that way, the flight will be used higher funding, so that it is sustainable. So that way, because previously there was a flight from Guwahati to Dhaka, but it discontinued because of the non-Bhai vehicle. Because passengers from Guwahati side full. From Dhaka side, you see passengers are less. That's why that flight was actually disconnected. Now we are under international regard scheme. That scheme is, you see, that scheme is made by Government of Assam and Government of India, and they agreed Civil Aviation Department, and with the private funding, we are just connecting six destinations of Southeast Asia from Guwahati Airport, So it will be connected only Ministry of Civil Aviation Department. They approve it. So that way our connectivity, so far connectivity is concerned. So from Assam side, already we have taken all steps. And for this priority gap funding, already we have committed to provide 100 crores to Government of India for priority gap funding, and 10 crores as advance we have already paid to Civil Aviation Department. So I hope this flight will start soon. I will not take much of time because our other speakers are here. But one night request to our external affairs ministers, Excellency Bangladesh, then actually our items which we are exporting, actually most of restricted some items is not open. Because of which actually our most of the exporters are facing some problems. So I hope you will look into this matter also. And secondly, from Mohisasson to Bangladesh part, so our rail line will be completed this month. December, at the end of this month. But from Bangladesh side, if you can be also your part also, then I hope immediately we can play rail connection to Bangladesh. And secondly, actually we have done broadcast here. So from your side it is meter gauge. So if you are converting to broadcast also, then it will be very easy to easy to travel or easy to export our goods. Actually, this is my second request to you. And third request that we are already, this Barak River is raised, and Brahmaputra River is also under dredging. So from Jakiganj here, from Barak to Jakiganj, so that part already we have raised fully. from Assam side, but from Zakiganj to Bangladesh. And Brahmaputra river also from Doikwa to Bangladesh, this part of Brahmaputra. I request you that already probably Government of India, MOR through ASEAN Development Bank, probably given money to Bangladesh. If you kindly trace this part, Brahmaputra from Doikwa to Bangladesh, and from Zakiganj, Barak from Zakiganj to Bangladesh, also kindly trace, because money given by Government of India to your to your government. So if you can trace it, then I hope then it will be easy for water transport for both the sides. So always we want that we must grow together. That is actually what my experience is. And culturally also we are, your food, our food, your culture, our culture is same. Culturally also we are similar. So everything is similar. Even the national anthem of India and Bangladesh composed by Kavi Guru Rabindranath Tagore. Amar sonar bangla ami তোমায় ভালোবাসি, তোমার আকাশ তোমার বাতাস আমার বুকে বাজায় বাসি, আমার সোনার বাংলা আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি. So that you see that national anthem of India and Bangladesh also composed by Kavi Guru Rabindranath Tagore. So culturally we are similar, no difference. And I was fortunate enough that I lead a delegation of some MLAs and bureaucrats to Sylhet, and we stayed 3 days in Sylhet, and we interacted with the delegation also, and Miami City here, commerce. So we have interacted with your business. So anyway, now this Silchar Sylhet conclave, international conclave organized here, I hope some results will come out of this conclave, and I will not take much of our time. Let us, because the state of Assam was the richest state once before independence of India. But after 1965 we became poor because our connectivity, water connectivity with the ocean, it was disconnected because of Indo-Pak War from 1965. But our visionary Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, so after he gave his active policy, vision is according to his vision. So now protocol signed, and Mongla and Chittagong port, Bangladesh is kind enough to give us access. So now we are connected with ocean now, and I hope both the side, Bangladesh, India, both the side, I hope we go together. Our trade volume, previously it was 10 billion, now because of the COVID and other things, so it come down to 8 billion. I hope it will increase, and out of 8 billion, so northeastern region only share 1% of the total trade and commerce. So I hope if His Excellency, the Excellency Affairs of Bangladesh will consider some items, restricted items, most of the items are restricted. So if it is open, even when I was sitting with Ramadan here, so one expert came to me that we are waiting whether after this session something will come out and we will export. So we like to export our many things actually from here to Bangladesh. So I hope this conclave will find out some solution, some good results to promote our trade and commerce. With these few words, extending my thanks to India Foundation, Ministry of Culture and Affairs, Government of India, and His Excellency the Commerce, His Excellency the Foreign Affairs Ministers, and delegates of Bangladesh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Northeast Update.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure many of these suggestions will form the bedrock for increased trade and commerce between Bangladesh and Northeast India. I'll now request our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. A.K. Abdul Momin, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Government of Bangladesh, to kindly address the gathering.
Honorable Governor of Mizoram, Honorable Chief Minister of Sandra, Honorable Minister of Industries and Commerce and Public Enterprises, the Minister for Cultural State Government of Assam, Honorable State Minister for External Affairs, distinguished business leaders from India and Bangladesh, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, Namaskar, and good afternoon. Today is a historic day. On 3rd December 1971, the Pakistani military attacked Indian airstrips. At that time, Prime Minister of India
declared war against
Indira
and
Gandhi
that day was the
declared war against Pakistan.
because Bangladesh
And that day was the spirit for all of us.
waiting for that day.
Because Bangladesh
When India
rank and
declared
file
war.
had been waiting for that day. When
And we are on
India
those days,
will
we are
declare
so
war
happy. I
against
can never
Pakistan.
forget that day.
And we are on those days, we are so happy. I can never forget that day when in the evening
Immediately,
Prime Minister declared war
along with the
on Pakistan.
liberation
And immediately
had been
the Indian
assault.
military, along with the Bangladeshi liberation forces,
And we were
had
lucky
an
within 13 days
assault
from
on the
3rd
Pakistan
December.
soldiers.
Within
And we are
13
lucky
days,
within 13 days from 3rd
Defeat.
December,
Very
within
well
13 days
trained.
on the 16th December,
93,000 Pakistani
very
soldiers
well-trained Pakistan,
surrendered to the joint forces.
93,000 Pakistani soldiers
That's a great
surrendered
day.
to the joint
This
forces
great month
of India
we
and
are here
Bangladesh.
in Silchar,
That's a great day.
celebrating
In this great
Silchar
month,
Sylhet.
we are here in
This is
Silchar
also historic day.
celebrating Silchar
And I
Sylhet
thank the
festival.
India Foundation
This is also a
for
historic day for us.
giving us a chance.
And I
And
thank
my colleagues
the India
to
Foundation
celebrate with
for organizing this event, giving us a chance,
Yes, indeed.
and my colleagues to celebrate it
আপনারা
on a
এমনিতে ভালো আছেন তো সব?
day in the month
আপনারা
of
সিলেটি বুঝেন তো?
আপনারা
ঘুমটু হইছে
এমনিতে
ঠিক
ভালো
মতো?
আছেন তো সব? আপনারা সিলেটি বুঝেন তো?
Everybody is happy, Your Excellency.
ঘুমটু হইছে ঠিক মতো?
Silchar Sylhet.
Good.
Very close.
So everybody is happy, Your Excellency. This is Silchar Sylhet. They are very close. আমাদের আত্মীয় স্বজন পূর্বপুরুষ অনেকেই এর সাথে অত্যন্ত ঘনিষ্ঠভাবে সম্পৃক্ত ছিলেন। আর আমরা আশা করি এই সম্মেলনের মাধ্যমে এই
দিন পর দিন
ফেস্টিভ্যালের মাধ্যমে
আরো উন্নত
আগামীতে
আরো সল
আমাদের সম্পর্ক
আমাদের নারী
দিন পর দিন আরো উন্নত হবে, আরো সলিড হবে আমাদের নারীর
I
সম্পর্ক।
thank the India Foundation and the Ministry of Culture, Government of India.
I thank the India Foundation and the Ministry of Culture, Government of India for organizing
It
this
provides
important session
opportunity for
at
policymakers
Silchar Sylhet
and
Festival.
business leaders to know each other.
It provides opportunity
ideas
for
and
policymakers and business leaders
priorities,
to know each other,
prospects and future.
share ideas and
I'm
understand
indeed delighted to
respective
you
priorities,
all.
prospects and future plans.
The relations between
indeed
Bangladesh and
delighted
India
with
have
you all
reached an
here
exceptional
today.
level under
The relations
dynamic
between
leadership
Bangladesh
of
and
Prime
India
Minister
has
Sheikh
reached
Hasina
an exceptional level under the
His
dynamic
Excellency
leadership
Shri
of Prime
Narendra
Minister
Modi of India.
Sheikh Hasina
Our relations
and
have gone beyond the
Her
strategic
Excellency
part
Sri Narendra
and
Modi of India.
encompasses
Our
all
relations
aspects
have
of
gone
partnership.
beyond the strategic partnership
I believe this
and
event
encompasses
will reflect
all
mutual
aspects of
collaboration
bilateral
on
cooperation.
enhancing
I believe
business,
this event
trade,
will reflect
investment between
mutual
our
collaboration on enhancing business,
esteemed business
trade,
leaders and
investment between our friendly
No doubt,
countries and people.
COVID pandemic
Esteemed business leaders and
impact
guests,
global supply
no doubt,
chain.
COVID pandemic has
And before
greatly
we could
impacted
fully recover
global
from
supply
the
chain and trade.
war in Ukraine,
And before
had
we
caused
could
significant
fully recover
rise
from the
of
COVID
commodity
pandemic,
and fuel prices.
the war in Ukraine had caused significant rise of commodity and fuel prices worldwide.
Severely affected the
More
established,
important, sanctions and counter-sanctions
financial
have severely affected
transaction
the established
and traditional
establish both
This has
financial
led many countries,
transaction
including those of
mechanism
South Asia,
and traditional
suffer
supply
from
chain.
acute
This has
economic
led many countries, including those of South Asia, to
However,
suffer from
it is heartening to
acute
note that
economic and
despite the
inflationary
ongoing
crisis.
challenges,
However,
India is among the foremost, fastest growing major economies in the world. Many experts predict India's economy, which is sixth largest now, is likely to become the world's third largest by 2050, following the United States and China. In fact, the World Bank, ADB, and IMF project India to remain the fastest growing major economy in the world during 2021 to 2024. Bangladesh too, since the devastating liberation war in 1971, as a sovereign and independent country, has come a long way, inspired by our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's dream of Sonar Bangla, the Golden Bengal. From those days of famines and food aid dependency, Bangladesh is today self-sufficient in food. It is now one of the largest global producers of rice, vegetables, grain, freshwater fish, and of course, ready-made garments, to name a few. Bangladesh, which had in the past suffered from natural calamity, is today a global star in the management of disaster preparedness, and of course, on women empowerment. It has also achieved huge socio-economic success, reduced poverty more than half, attained impressive growth, and thus it is known now as a model of economic development, as a miracle. Bangladesh economy grew over a decade, nearly crossing 7% in fiscal year 2015 to 16, 8% in 2018 to 19, and since 2006, the per capita income increased 5 times from around $543 to more than $2,900 today. The rate of poverty in Bangladesh has reduced from 42% in the last decade or so. Bangladesh is now one of the top 5 fastest growing economies in the world. Bangladesh also ranks 5th in the world and number 1 in South Asia in managing COVID pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, Bangladesh has also been promoting the idea of as a vehicle for sustaining location and position of Bangladesh in the South Asian region. Bangladesh is offering itself as a gateway to landlocked Nepal, Bhutan, and northeastern states of India. Banking on this strategic location, Bangladesh is also working to establish itself as the regional connectivity not just through roads, railways, as India is making efforts to convert the northeastern land link, Bangladesh stands ready and integral for Prime Minister Modi's foreign policy priorities of active. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last 10 years, the total bilateral trade between Bangladesh and India had an impressive growth with the balance heavily in favor of India. According to recorded 1.8 billion, it should be 16 billion export against record This is prepared to supply quality products at competitive prices to the Indian market. We therefore invite Indian importers to look at Bangladesh products that you are importing at higher prices from countries far away from your neighbors. The pattern of trade between Bangladesh and NERE, the Northeast region, is distinctly different from the rest of India. Bangladesh land mineral resources which the country imports from Northeast region. In return, Northeast region imports finished products from Bangladesh. The NER exports raw materials like coal, limestone, gypsum, clinker, stone chips, bamboo to Bangladesh, and imports averages. For sustainable growth, it is important to diversify food items, cooked goods, and other consumer products are in huge demand on Northeast region. We can also introduce our pharmaceuticals, ceramics, leather goods, and bicycles as potential export products to this region. To enable larger gains, Bangladesh-India cooperation should go beyond trade. It should include finance, services, technology transfer, and be placed within the context of regional cooperation. In the fiscal year 2021-22, the total FDI flow to Bangladesh is more than $13.7 billion, while the proportion from India was very little, only 15 million, attributing only to 1%. That's not good. We need to increase this proportion. So there is real need for more collaboration between our two countries by way of involving business community. There are some, problem of communication. I hope in due process, through dialogue and discussion, we will reduce or eliminate all those barriers for free flow of trade and investment and people-to-people contact between this region. I was thinking it is possible if we can introduce one card for the regional group so that they don't need any visa or those formalities and could move from one place to the other without much hurry. That will help developing much better people-to-people contact. And we'll get a lot of tourists from Bangladesh. The whole of India, last year we sent 2.8 million tourists, both for tourism as well as for medical treatment. And I believe more will be coming to this part of the India if we can eliminate those sort of barriers. I have discussed last night with the minister about one event that here anyone comes from Bangladesh, they have to go to Calcutta to get the permission. Sure, if we can start in Guwahati for giving the permission. Ladies and gentlemen, Bangladesh has the most liberal investment regime in the region with wide array of facilities, attractive incentive packages and policies, consistent reforms. Presently, 100 special economic zones and 28 high-tech parks are being established in Bangladesh. The aim is to encourage investment and rapid economic development to increase and diversification of industry, employment and production plus exports. For the Indian investors, two dedicated special economic zones of Mongla and Mirasarai are being developed. I would urge the business houses present here today to invest there. I would further pave the way prosperity to the whole region. Bangladesh is uniquely located to enable Indian investors to export their products not only to the northeastern states of India, but also to Nepal, Bhutan, and Southeast Asian countries. On the other hand, geographical proximity makes Northeast region lucrative for Bangladesh to invest in small and medium-scale sectors like food processing industries, agro-based industries, IT sector, and forest-based and tourism-based industries. Dear business leaders, I am happy to inform you that we have implemented mega projects to accelerate the growth. The Podda Bridge, the Bangladesh longest bridge, has been built entirely by our own resources. It was inaugurated in last domestic product by 1.5 to 2% annually. In the last decade, several other infrastructure projects have been initiated in Bangladesh. Among these are Bangladesh's first metro rail project, MRT Line 6, the Konepoli Tunnel, the first underwater road tunnel in South Asia, Rupur Nuclear Power Plant, Dhaka Elevated Expressway, Dhaka Airport Third Terminal, and some other mega projects. Once completed, they will contribute substantially to Bangladesh GDP growth. Even we are currently improving our Sylhet Airport, and it has direct flights from Sylhet to London, to Manchester, to Jeddah, to Dubai, besides other cities of Bangladesh. And I like the idea, and I welcome that idea, that direct flight from Guwahati, Sylhet to Dhaka and the return, hopefully would be a profitable airline. And we'll work on that so that we can start this process. I'm also interested to start, and I'll request our roads and highways authority to start a bus line from Sylhet to Silchar, to Jockeyganj and Karimganj. That would be another, I think, profitable business venture, and also it will help increase our people-to-people connectivity and reignite our relationship with the people and the families of these regions. Dear participants, I would urge Indian investors to consider possible investment in infrastructure projects, manufacturing, in energy and transport sectors. Indian investors and business houses can set up industries also in Bangladesh to buy back a that the NER has its own dimension and opportunity, which are different as a whole from the rest of India, or India as a whole. Strengthening of economic ties with Bangladesh will be mutually beneficial for the Northeast region. In this connection, I'd like to mention that we are happy that our Pran RFL group has established plants in Northeast India to produce consumer goods, and they're meeting the demand in this region. Moreover, the transportation cost of goods to and from this region to the rest of India within the region is higher than that of any strategic location of Bangladesh. This fact postulates the efficacy of developing a good trade investment relation between Bangladesh and Northeast region. As mentioned, we can open up our river roads
that we traditionally used to have. And if we can open up our river roads, then we can transport our goods at a cost-effective rate, and it will be beneficial for the business as well as it will help improve people-to-people connectivity. So we should try our utmost so that we can start opening up these river roads that we used to have. We had 54 rivers, as you mentioned, and we should try to open those one after another. Bangladesh is India's most important development trading partner. India receives the highest number of tourists and medical patients from Bangladesh. Thousands of Indian nationals are working in Bangladesh and they're contributing significantly to both economies. I am confident that the deep bonds of friendship existing between Bangladesh and India shall continue to grow and flourish. The business communities of both countries should grow close and play their due role in fostering mutual prosperity and economic advancement of our people. Indeed, time is right for the Indian business community to focus more on Bangladesh and take advantage of its economic growth, cheaper cost, and huge consumer base. We have 165 million people and a large number of relatively wealthy. They have the purchasing capacity. Your Excellency, if any company that produces a product in Bangladesh, there is a strong market. No company I have ever heard in Bangladesh is not finding market. Whatever you produce, there is a market. So therefore, I welcome you to look into it and start doing business in Bangladesh. Finally, I can assure you that both the governments of our two countries are sincerely exploring the avenues to further facilitate our trade and investment relations and agreed to introduce negotiations on comprehensive economic partnership agreement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has suggested, and our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, clearly welcomed the process, and we have been instructed to start designing the draft agreement with a comprehensive economic partnership agreement between Bangladesh and India. Hopefully, we will be completing very, very soon. Once again, I thank you all. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu. May Bangladesh-India friendship live forever. বাংলাদেশ ভারত মৈত্রী চিরজীবী হোক। আপনাদের অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ।
Thank you, sir, for that optimistic roadmap. I'm sure we'll have very soon comprehensive economic partnership agreement and buses flying between Silchar and Sylhet. I'm sure someday people from Northeast planning to travel to London would be able to take Viman flights from Sylhet to London, probably travel from Guwahati to Sylhet and Sylhet to London. Now I'll request the chair of the session, His Excellency Dr. K. Hari Babu, to kindly address the gathering.
His Excellency, Honorable Foreign Minister Bangladesh, Dr. Abdul Umar, His Excellency, Ambassador of Bangladesh to India, Honorable Minister for Industry, Commerce, Government of Assam, Mr. Patwari, Dr. Roy, Honorable Member of Parliament from Silchar, Director, India Foundation, distinguished members of Parliament from Bangladesh, delegates from Bangladesh, delegates from India, and dear friends. I am very happy to participate in this particular session with regard to the promotion of trade and commerce between Bangladesh and India, and in particular between Bangladesh and Northeast region. It is is a very nice session exploring the possibilities of improving the trade between the two countries. I think in this connection I would like to mention about 2-3 issues, points with regard to the trade and commerce. India is the fastest growing economy today in the world, even compared to the most developed economy of United States of America. Now we are the 5th largest in the world, and we expect to be the 3rd largest economy in the world after United States and China in shorter period. The improvement, expansion of economy provides a lot of opportunities, not only for the trade inside the country, but also the trade from the neighbors. And there are going to be a lot of changes in the government policies, particularly in India. India was facing a lot of problems of the foreign exchange because we spend a lot of foreign exchange on importing the crude oil. 85% of our crude requirements are met with imports. Government of India is thinking for the last few years, after Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji took over, how to come out of this problem. There are two-pronged attack on this problem. Number one, how to reduce the import of crude oil. For this, the government is encouraging the farmers to grow more sugarcane. Instead of using the sugarcane to produce sugar, the government is encouraging now to produce more ethanol, which can be mixed into the oil, petrol. Now the India has reached the mixing up of the ethanol to oil, the petroleum, has reached to 8.5%. The goal is to reach 20% of the mixing of ethanol with petrol by the year 2025, and the government is on the path. The second way of solving this issue is to encourage the electric vehicles, to convert the vehicles to run on the electricity. Then how do we encourage to produce electricity? Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is the advocate who is encouraging the generation of solar power. Every house, every individual who consumes electricity, there is an opportunity for every consumer to generate power on his own by installing the rooftop solar systems. This is how we can try to supplement electricity and also to generate more ethanol, to produce more ethanol, not only through sugarcane, but through some other technology as the grain-based ethanol plants. As Bangladesh is very strong in paddy production, broken rice can be used nowadays to generate ethanol. Therefore, India and Bangladesh, they have both similarities as far as the energy problems are concerned. Therefore, the cue can be taken by the mixing of ethanol to the petrol and also by using the electrical vehicles by generation of electricity through solar energy. The second aspect I would like to cover is the free trade agreement regime. India has free trade agreements with all its neighbors, Asian countries, SAARC countries, with lower tariff barriers. I think this is the policy which can encourage the commerce and trade between India and the neighboring countries. I request all participant delegates to think about the FTA agreements which we have with the neighboring countries and make use of them to promote the trade. The other point is, Government of India is now focusing on the rupee trade with other countries. Instead of depending on the US dollar, how to make use of the rupee trade in the trade and commerce with the neighboring countries. Already some efforts are being made to have the rupee trade on imports of Russia, from the Russian oil imports. I think this is one area where we can think about how we can proceed in commerce and trade. Honorable Minister of Commerce and Trade, Assam, he has given a detailed presentation with regard to the development of the logistic infrastructure to be developed in the northeastern region. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is giving a lot of importance for the basic infrastructure development in all the northeastern states. He has set up a goal that all northern states should be connected by railway link. All the northeastern states' capitals should have the airports and other national highway projects which are running to the thousands of crores are being implemented in northeastern states. I think this basic infrastructure of logistics development definitely will improve the trade and commerce between Bangladesh and India, as Bangladesh is strategically located and surrounded three sides by India and one side by Bay of Bengal. India is also looking at alternative openings from one part of the country to the other. Now we are entering into the northeast only through the chicken neck, Siliguri. One project is being under construction now from Mizoram through Myanmar, connecting the Sitwe port, from Sitwe port to the Calcutta port. By name Kaladang Multi-Mode Transit Transport System. It is under construction. I hope that this project will be completed very soon and implemented by the Ministry of External Affairs India, Government of India in Myanmar area. From the discussions I understand, there can be an alternative opening for northeastern states to the mainland, particularly to Calcutta, via Bangladesh. As the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs Bangladesh was mentioning about so many rivers which are having the opportunities for the development of inland waterway transport, I think that can be utilized to connect to the Chittagong port, from Chittagong port to Calcutta via Bay of Bengal. That is an alternative route that can be developed to have opening for the northeastern state to the rest of the world. I think this type of infrastructure facilities that are being thought of in northeastern region will definitely help the trade and commerce between Bangladesh and India. I think that the business relationships, trade opportunities not only exist between the northeastern states and Bangladesh. I remember my home state, that is Andhra Pradesh, is having trade relationship with Bangladesh. A few years back, Andhra Pradesh used to export lot of shrimp seed, prawn seed to Bangladesh for aquaculture. Therefore, we have relationship for the development of aquaculture fishery sector between Bangladesh and India. I think still we can continue such type of relationship. And Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is giving lot of thrust on local products, vocal for local. Whatever the products that can be manufactured locally, people should think about how to find the markets globally. Therefore, that policy also will try to encourage the businessmen, manufacturers, MSME units to produce more qualitative products for the purpose of export. This can offer an opportunity for trade and commerce between the two countries. I request all the delegates to explore all these possibilities to improve the trade between the two countries, and this event organized by India Foundation in cooperation with the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, will definitely open up the possibilities and increase the trade between the two countries. I am very much thankful to the organizers, India Foundation, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity of sharing few issues with all of you, expecting the trade to be grown in leaps and bounds between the two countries. I am taking leave of you. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your ideas. And with this, we are coming to the end of this session. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency Dr. K. Hari Babu, Honorable Governor of Mizoram, to take time out from his busy schedule and come all the way from Aizawl to be with us here. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs of Bangladesh, to come here. He, being from Sylhet, has been the mainstay of our support for the Silchar Sylhet celebration, and without his support, this event would not have come through. So we are really grateful to you, sir. I am also extremely grateful to Shri Chandramohan Patwari ji, Minister for Environment and Forest at East Policy Affairs and Welfare of Minorities, Government of Assam, India, for the Assam government, and to him for taking time out from his busy schedule to be here with us. And I am also extremely grateful to His Excellency Muhammad Mustafizur Rahman, High Commissioner of Bangladesh to India. He has just taken over and presented his credentials, and he is here. Probably this is the first public event that he is attending after taking over as the High Commissioner. We are really grateful to you. Before I call this session to an end, I will request Dr. Rajdeep Roy to kindly felicitate the speakers of this session. I will request him to felicitate His Excellency Dr. K. Hari Babu, Honorable Governor of Mizoram. I will request him to kindly felicitate His Excellency Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, Government of Bangladesh. I will request him to felicitate Shri Chandramohan Patwari ji, Honorable Minister for Environment and Forest at East Policy Affairs and Welfare of Minorities, Government of Assam, India. I request Dr. Rajdeep Rai to kindly felicitate His Excellency Muhammad Mustafizur Rahman, High Commissioner of Bangladesh to India. Thank you, sir. And before I end, I would like to express a big thanks to NETFI and Northeast Council for helping India Foundation to stage this event. Without their help, this event could not have been successful. Extremely grateful to NETFI and Northeastern Council. Thank you so much. I will now request General Dhruv Katoch to come and take over from here and conduct the next session. In this session, we had the policy makers speaking on trade and commerce. Now we will have the practitioners talking about their problems and roadmaps. Thank you.
Namaskar. We'll be starting the second session immediately. This session, as mentioned by my colleague, Captain Alok Bansal, is a continuation of the first one, where the practitioners will give out their roadmaps for the future as far as trade and commerce is concerned. For this session, may I invite on the stage Lieutenant General Arun Kumar Sani, the former Commander-in-Chief of the Southwestern Command and the present member, the Governing Council of India. General Sani. General Sani also advises leading corporate houses on the Make in India initiative, especially with relation to the defense sector. May I also invite on stage the co-chair of this particular session, Shri Iqbalur Rahim, Member of Parliament, Bangladesh. He is also the Chief Whip of the Bangladesh Parliament. Mr. Iqbalur Rahim. Mr. Rahim, please. We have 6 very distinguished speakers here today. I will call them on the stage one by one. Shri P.V. S.L.N. Murthy, the Chairman and Managing Director, Northeast Development Finance Corporation Limited, India. Mr. Murthy. I now invite on stage Mr. Tahmeel Ahmed, the President of the Sylhet Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Bangladesh. Mr. Murthy, could you kindly come on stage, please? And Mr. Ahmed, Mr. Tamim Ahmed, can you come on stage, please? Mr. Murthy? Come. I now invite on stage Shri Ravi Patwa, President, Institute of Internal Auditors, India. I now invite on stage Ms. Charnlata Roy, President, Sylhet Women's Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Bangladesh. Ms. Roy. Ms. Roy, please come here. I now invite on stage Shri Manoj Pant, Vice Chancellor, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, India. And finally, I invite on stage Shri Abu Tahir Mohammed Shoaib. He is the former President of the Sylhet Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Mr. Abu Tahir Mohammed Shoaib. Okay, he come. I hand over to the chair now to conduct the proceedings, and Mr. Shoaib will be joining us on a minute. Over to the chair.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would start the session by firstly once again extending an extremely warm welcome to all our guests who've come in from Bangladesh. It's been delightful to have you since yesterday. A pleasure to interact and extremely revealing and I would say nostalgic for a lot of people who've had relationships which sort of got disrupted thanks to what has happened about the international borders. We're delighted to have you all here, and we look forward to being with you today and tomorrow as well. We've had some extremely revealing and interesting sessions, both the inaugural session yesterday and today in the morning. We've had the Honorable Minister, we've had the Governor, we've had all of them sharing their perception and how they've seen the trade and commerce grow, the relationships grow, because the bedrock today, I think, for good relations between nations is also the geoeconomics that comes out of it. The man-to-man, people-to-people relations matter, but I think the relationship that builds up because of trade and commerce and linkages can really further cement the relationship that exists. I have a very august panel today with me, and I'm also conscious of the fact that we're going to be short of time, keeping the other events that are follow-up after this particular session. May I just start by summing up three issues that seem to have been highlighted by all the speakers. India and Bangladesh relationship, which were hinged on the political leadership, are today at the best, and I would say it's like a golden era where the two leaders see eye to eye, and because of that, it's the officials and the political hierarchies within the two nations have made efforts to ensure that things go forward. We are also conscious that South Asia suffers from this terrible disrepute of being the least integrated nation. We just have intra-trade about 5%, but I think two things are very obvious that as far as India and Bangladesh is concerned, we are on the right track. The infrastructure projects, the connectivity projects, the setting up of ICPs, the rail links, the train services that have commenced to some of the stations which are already functioning, the Maitri trains, the Bandhan Express, all these are already things which are happening. But there is a lot that is happening now which will ensure that in the immediate future we will see better connectivity not only just to Bengal but through a stand to Tripura, so that the northeast region and the optimization of this thing can be achieved because of the linkages that exist. I will just start by saying two things. One is the second issue that was highlighted, COVID and the impact, the Russian-Ukraine war, which has highlighted two issues which are very important. That there has to be resilience in your supply chain, and I think we will have to depend on regional trade and commerce to ensure that the well-being of the people of our nations continues to be unhindered, irrespective of these black swan events that come out and impact world geopolitics and geoeconomics. So keeping that in mind, I would only end now by just saying that there is a World Bank report which came out which said that the national income, as far as if there is seamless connectivity in the trade and commerce and in the infrastructure between India and Bangladesh, it will see an increase of about 17% of national income in Bangladesh, and it will have a corresponding impact of about 8% in India. So with that, I will now hand over to my co-chair to share India. However, in mind for their opening remarks, we will have about 1 to 2 minutes subsequently, once you've heard each other, to be able to sort of give up certain summing up points that we would like to highlight for the end of the session. With this, may I kindly request our co-chair to please come and say a few words, or you can speak from there as well, sir. we'll request the co-chair to then be the speaker who will sum up the issues that have come up, and I'll help out by closing the session subsequently. So may I first start with Dr. Manoj Pant, who is the Vice Chancellor of the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. I think he can set the pace, then we'll have the investments, and then we'll have the industry and commerce bodies to come and share the pain points and issues that they think need to be addressed to take this trade and commerce to greater heights. We've already grown in the last 1 year from say 10 to about 16 billion. We need to just keep going up and ensure that the balance of payments is also kept in mind for the development. So over to Dr. Manoj Pant, please.
To all speakers who are going to be speaking with me today, Mr. Murthy, Mr. Patwa, Mr. Pen Kulat, Ms. Shamlata Roy, and Ms. Dashi Mukhi. I am no stranger to the Northeast. I have been working in this area for the last 22 years on and on. And I must mention this is my third IDF India Foundation conference. The first was sometime back in Dimapur. Then Mr. Bansal was there, you remember that. And then he had one at the third one was, of course, India. And what is fascinating, and I complimented Mr. The IDF India Foundation delegates, is that one of the things which I have been saying since about 2005, since I was an academic, is that the Northeast has suffered from neglect. We have, in India, the rest of the country has taken that for granted. I will tell things which I was telling Mr. Ram Madhav too, but the good thing that the India Foundation is doing is bringing the mainstream people to understand what are the problems in the Northeast. We often don't understand. The Northeast is a very different kettle of fish compared to what the economists normally apply. So, congratulations to the India Foundation for bringing a very strong focus on the Northeast states as part, of course, of the government of the Prime Minister at these first. Now, I'm not going to speak anything very long. You know, academics can go on for hours if you give us. But I won't do that. I was built on, I was fascinated at the knowledge level of the ministers in the two states, Bangladesh and of course. And they said some wonderful things I really don't know how to add. Let me just say, in my 40 years, 50 years of working as a trade service, some of the points which I mentioned which are critical, and I think the Bangladesh delegates addressed. One was the point which I think Mr. Monet said, and he said that it is unfortunate the very low level of foreign direct investment between India and Bangladesh. Now, considering that India is one of the largest foreign investors outside the country today, this is rather unfortunate for the following reasons. Any number of empirical studies show that if two countries do not have foreign investment, then trade does not progress. And the intuitive understanding is very simple. Foreign investors become important lobby points in the two countries, which encourage the two countries to expand trade. So two things. One, unless increased foreign investment takes place, particularly from India to Bangladesh, we expect trade to progress is not going to happen, except at the lower level of India. The second fact, he mentioned also about RTAs, Indian Trade Agreements. Now, BIMSTEC is a very old agreement, but BIMSTEC hasn't had the impact yet precisely for the first reason. Again, as long as there is no foreign investment, even regional trading arrangements do not lead to increased trade between partner countries. I'll explain why. Mr. Mohan mentioned the CEPA. And what is a CEPA? A CEPA says countries will trade whether we have agreements or not. whether illegal through more or legal, doesn't matter, it happens. But you want to trade to the next level, which is people-to-people contacts, which is investment, which means cultural relationships. Then you have a CPA, which says the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement says, how do I take the relationship between two areas, or two countries, or two regions to the next level? And Bangladesh and Northeast in particular are obvious partners in this. And Assam, of course, the dominant state in Northeast. That they already share enormous culture, whether it is Nagaland, Mizoram, Myanmar, or whether it is Assam and Bangladesh, there is a very small, very strong inter-relationship culture that sometimes exists. So the only thing missing is, of course, we have the war, which have a problem, but the only thing missing is this one link, which is let's take it to the next level. And I think that would address the somewhat minor issue which often magnified in the press. People talk about the high trade deficit which Bangladesh has. But you must remember, Bangladesh is one of the largest exporters from South Asia of garments. And the garments are built on the exports of cotton, which is the other major export from India. India exports yarn and cotton to Bangladesh, and Bangladesh exports garments to the rest of the world. This is exactly what the Chinese did with South Asia. So actually it's a great relationship. If someone was to calculate what is the possible contribution of India to the exports of Bangladesh, is not very small. So these direct looking just at the links, how much we export, how much we export, this we don't anymore consider trade. Today we look at trade in related products, inter-industry trade. I don't think trade deficit is such a big thing to wonder about. Now let me sort of come to one last one or two points. Come to the issue of connectivity. I recall Mr. Bansal is here, that particular one in Kaziranga for foundation. The focus of that conference is connectivity, I was called. And I did write a document in 2008 called the India Vision for Northeast 2020 of Donor, where we said, forget everything else. Unless you bring about connectivity, you're wasting time in terms of looking at resources, nothing is going to happen. Especially in hill areas. Northeast hill areas, it's almost impossible today to go from Mizoram to, let's say, Kohima. You cannot do it. You're going via Assam or going via Calcutta, makes no sense. And it is again, I must say, the economists can compliment the government for the day, the level to which they have taken connectivity in the last. I never thought in my lifetime, to be honest, I don't know anyone here from Nagaland, I'd ever see a highway from Dimapur to Kohima. There's a 4-lane highway. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. And it's there. So this connectivity is good. So you got connectivity. You got cultural links. You got linguistic links. Which is not all the same thing. And obviously what Mr. Moment said is the next stage. How do I move beyond BIMSTEC, which is very old, to CCA, which actually takes all this, combines into elements of investment. Remember, without investment, there is no trade. There is no history of countries trading who do not have foreign investment between us. It is for India. This relationship will happen in the future. And so the two areas also mentioned by them, one of course energy. Energy is crucial for India, not so much fuel, but gas. Gas is critical. And Bangladesh is a major supplier of gas. So, agreements on how to bring in gas, what we are trying to, India is trying to do with our region of Russia too. How do I bring gas into agreements with India and Bangladesh, one thing. And the other, which is again very critical, India's contribution. We as economists recognize that Bangladesh is in the technical area far, far ahead of us in terms of technology of textiles. Now, textile is something which is a very major employer in India. And I foresee a time when there will be a reverse movement. of foreign investment from Bangladesh into India, particularly in the textile trade, because they know where it's at. They know the logistics. Trade is not just about making clothes and exporting them. It's to know the whole supply chain which makes it trade. And I believe that's the area where so these two things, textile and energy, I believe are the future, which could take trade not just between Northeast and Bangladesh, but between the rest of India. Last point, which I'll conclude. My last point is that when you look at the region, it is this which global traders look at. No one looks at Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or India or Nepal. They look at the region. And as the former Prime Minister once said, regions which do not have good relationships can never be good trade partners. And also regions, one region cannot grow without the other, without taking the other regions with them. South Africa is a case in point. It's unable to move forward because neighbors are in such a depressed state. So no big region can grow. And I believe India, as the Honorable Governor said, India today is at the level of economic development, where growth here could actually take Bangladesh forward. Just a little bit of push. And I believe, I'm personally, as an academic, very impressed. I believe the two ministers, Mr. Momen and Mr. Pastore, they have the right ideas, but anyway, I think they know it all, nothing for me to tell them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Malhotra. I think you've been extremely revealing. I will not go through the points now, but maybe we'll look at it at the end. May I now kindly request Ms. Sharnalata Roy, President of Sylhet Women's Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to come and share her viewpoint.
Our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. A.K. Abdul Momen MP, and the Chair, K. Hari Babu. And I saw the guest of honor, Mr. Chandra Mohan Patwari, and the Arun Kumar Saha, the founder, member of Government Council India Foundation, distinguished panelist, our gentlemen and ladies. My warm greetings to you all. I'm really honored to glad to be here and inviting me for me. This is a unique opportunity for me to share my heartfelt gratitude to the Indian people, especially for Silchar people. In fact, we are one in heart, though the border is made us separated. আমি বিশ্বাস করি সিলেট এবং শিলচর অভিন্ন একটি মাত্রার মানুষ আমরা, আমাদের কৃষ্টি কালচার সব কিছুই এক। সো আমি কিছু কথা সেজন্যই বাংলায় বলতে চাই। বাংলা আমাদের মাতৃভাষা, সিলেটের সহ শিলচর পূর্ববঙ্গ যা আছেন পশ্চিম বাংলার সকলেই আমরা যারা বাঙালি, তাদের ভাষাগত, কৃষ্টিগত, সংস্কৃতিগত এবং ঐতিহ্যগত যেটা বলছি, সেই দিক থেকে আমরা একই জায়গায় একই সূত্রে বাঁধা আছি। আমাদের যিনি প্রধান অতিথি ছিলেন মাননীয় মন্ত্রী মহোদয়, তিনি কিন্তু আমাদের সব কথাই বলে গিয়েছেন। কিছু কথা আমি বলছি, যেহেতু আমি সিলেট উইমেন চেম্বার অফ কমার্স অ্যান্ড ইন্ডাস্ট্রি সভাপতিত্ব করছি। কি করে সিলেট উইমেন চেম্বারের নারীরা এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে সেই দৃষ্টিভঙ্গিগুলো আপনাদের কাছে শেয়ার করতে চাচ্ছি। একটি সময় ছিল সিলেটের নারীরা ঘরে একেবারেই অবরোধবাসিনী ছিলেন। সেটা আমার ধারণা শুধু সিলেট নয়, শিলচরের নারীরাও ছিলেন। সেদিক থেকে আমরা সকলেই বের হয়ে এসেছি। সিলেটের নারী উদ্যোক্তারা এমন কিছু কাজ করছে যেটা বিশ্বের দরবারে একেবারেই উজ্জ্বল দৃষ্টান্ত হয়ে আছে। আমরা কিছু কিছু জিনিস আমাদের ঐতিহ্যগতভাবে আছে। মণিপুরি আইটেম, মণিপুরি প্রোডাক্টটা আমাদের ঐতিহ্যের একটি অংশ। সেই মণিপুরি প্রোডাক্টটাকে কি করে ডাইভার্সিফাইড করা যায় সেই জায়গাতেই আমার নারী উদ্যোক্তারা কাজ করছেন। ট্যুরিজম নিয়ে কাজ, জুট এবং লেদার নিয়ে কাজ করছেন এবং এমন কিছু ডাইভার্সিফাইড প্রোডাক্ট করছেন মাল্টি প্রোডাক্টস দিয়ে, যেটা আমরা শিলচরবাসীর কাছে পরিচিত করতে চাই। এবং আমি আমার ছোট্ট একটি ভিডিও সকলের উদ্দেশ্যে প্রেজেন্ট করতে চাই, যে ভিডিওর মাধ্যমে আপনারা জানবেন সিলেটের নারী উদ্যোক্তারা কি করে কাজ করছে। আমি এবার সমস্ত ইন্ডিয়ার কাছে এবং গভর্নমেন্টের কাছে কৃতজ্ঞতা জানাই সিলেটের একজন অধিবাসী হিসাবে, যে 1971 সালে আমার জন্ম হয়নি তখন, কিন্তু আমি শুনেছি 25শে মার্চের সেই কালো রাত্রে সবার আগে যে সিলেটবাসী কিন্তু শিলচরের কাছে আশ্রয় নিয়েছিলেন এবং আপনারা অত্যন্ত আন্তরিকতার সাথে সেই জিনিসটি করেছেন বলেই আজকে কিন্তু সিলেট এবং শিলচরের নারীর যে অবিচ্ছেদ্য অংশ সেটাও অটুট রয়েছে এবং আপনাদের ইন্ডিয়ার সরকারের সহযোগিতায় আমরা একটি স্বাধীন রাষ্ট্র পেয়েছি। আমরা এটাও জানি যে সিলেটের সহ এবং সিলেটের যারা বাঙালি এখানে ছিলেন তাদের কাছ থেকে আমার জানা একটা সময় শিলচর পেয়েছিল শান্তির দ্বীপ পুরস্কারটি মাননীয় ইন্দিরা গান্ধী প্রধানমন্ত্রীর কাছ থেকে। সেটা কিন্তু আমাদেরও একটি অহংকার, কারণ আমাদের সিলেটের সাথে শিলচরের একটি ঐতিহ্য রয়েছে। তো আমরা মনে করি সিলেট এবং শিলচর ব্যবসাগত দিকে এগিয়ে আসবে। এবারে শিলচরের যদি কোনো উইমেন চেম্বার থাকে বা নারী উদ্যোক্তা কোনো সংগঠন থাকে, তাদেরকে আমি আন্তরিকভাবে অভিবাদন জানাচ্ছি এবং আমার এটা উইশ থাকছে যে আপনারা সিলেটে আসবেন এবং আপনাদের উদ্যোক্তাদের সাথে সিলেট উইমেন চেম্বার যৌথভাবে একটি মেলা আয়োজন করতে পারে, যেটা কিন্তু ইন্ডিয়ান ফাউন্ডেশনের মাধ্যমে সম্ভব হবে। এবং আমরা সিলেট চেম্বার এবং সিলেট উইমেন চেম্বার অত্যন্ত আন্তরিকভাবে কাজ করছে এবং সিলেট চেম্বারের গাইডেন্সে কিন্তু সিলেট উইমেন চেম্বারও কাজ করছে। তো এইরকম একটি মেলা আয়োজন করলে আমরা মনে করি যে দুদেশের উদ্যোক্তাদের একটি বাণিজ্যের প্রসার ঘটবে এবং এমন কিছু প্রোডাক্ট আমরা যা তৈরি করছি, আমি মনে করি আমাদের মাননীয় মন্ত্রী মহোদয় বলেছেন, যেটা কিন্তু ইন্ডিয়ার অধিবাসীদের কাছে অত্যন্ত জনপ্রিয়। সেই জিনিসটি যাতে আমরা তাদের কাছে পৌঁছে দিতে পারি সেই সুযোগটুকু আপনাদের কাছ থেকে আশা করছি। আমরা চাই যে ট্যুরিজমের সেক্টর নিয়ে মেয়েরা এগিয়ে আসুক। সিলেটের অনেক ঐতিহ্যবাহী জায়গা রয়েছে যেখান থেকে আমরা কিন্তু শিলচরের অধিবাসীদেরকে আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি, নারীদের ট্যুরিজম সেক্টরের মাধ্যমে আপনারা বাংলাদেশকে ঘুরে দেখবেন এবং বাংলাদেশের যে সুন্দর সুন্দর জায়গাগুলো আছে সেটা আপনারা উপলব্ধি করতে পারবেন। আমি বেশি কিছু কথা বলতে চাই না। আমার ভিডিওটি আমি ভাবছি যে আপনাদের সবার কাছে ভিডিওটি হয়তো 6 মিনিটের, এটা না দেখাতে পারলেও 1 মিনিটের ভিডিওটি যদি প্রেজেন্ট করা যায় তাহলে আমি খুশি হব। যিনি আছেন ওনার কাছে আমার একটা রিকোয়েস্ট, 1 মিনিটের ভিডিওটি একটু লাস্ট প্রেজেন্টেশনটা দেওয়ার জন্য। আমার সকল নারী উদ্যোক্তাদের পক্ষ থেকে, সিলেট উইমেন চেম্বারের পক্ষ থেকে সকলকে অভিনন্দন জানাচ্ছি এবং আবারও সিলেট ঘুরে আসার আমন্ত্রণ রইল শিলচরের নগরবাসীর কাছে এবং আমি আশা করব যে আপনারা আমাদের এই আমন্ত্রণ গ্রহণ করবেন। কি তা করবানি খোকা? থ্যাংক ইউ। আমরা আশা করছি যে আপনারা খুব শীঘ্রই সিলেট ভ্রমণ করবেন এবং সিলেটের ঐতিহ্যপূর্ণ জিনিসগুলো আপনারা কিনে আনবেন, যা কিন্তু আপনাদেরই একটি অংশ মনে করে। ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে, ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন।
যারা আছেন মনে করেন যে নিরাপত্তার খাতিরেও মেয়েরা বাইরে যেতে পারবে না, যাওয়া উচিত না, আমার মনে হয় সেই ধারণা থেকে আমরা বের হয়ে আসতে হবে। আমরা প্রত্যেকটা পদক্ষেপকেই ওভারকাম করার মতো শক্তি রাখি, সেরকম মনোবলও রাখি।
বাংলাদেশ এগিয়ে চলেছে প্রধানমন্ত্রী জননেত্রী শেখ হাসিনার দূরদর্শী নেতৃত্বে। আমরা সহস্রাব্দ লক্ষ্যমাত্রা অর্জন করে টেকসই লক্ষ্যমাত্রা অর্জনের পথে এগিয়ে চলেছি। নারীর ক্ষমতায়ন যেখানে অন্যতম প্রধান শর্ত, সিলেট উইমেন চেম্বার অফ কমার্স সে লক্ষ্যেই কাজ করে যাচ্ছে। এক সময়ের অবরোধবাসিনী নারীরা আজ দেশের সকল উন্নয়ন কাজে যুক্ত হয়েছেন। এই পরিবর্তনটি সম্ভব হয়েছে অগ্রণী নারীদের কারণেই, যেখানে সিলেটের স্বর্ণলতা রায় একটি উজ্জ্বল নাম।
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that very interesting video. Thank you. May I now kindly request Mr. Murthy, Chairman and Managing Director for the Northeast Developmental Finance Corporation Limited, to share his views. Over to you, Mr. Murthy.
Subho Madhyano. Hope I am correct. My dear friends, after hearing to the dignitaries in the previous session, especially for His Excellency, Foreign Minister of Bangladesh and dignitaries from India, there is no much to add. But I would like to take 3 minutes to narrate. I thought that this session was anchored by Dr. Rajdeep Rai, but I think he will be somewhere here. I think some of the things, though the entire 2 days, 1.5 days discussion is that a lot of things are happening in the Barak Valley and also in Bangladesh side, and lot of initiatives have been taken. But as from the NET field, we recently did 2 studies. One study is still going on. Professor Niranjan Roy is also one of the members with us. We did a comprehensive study about the Barak Valley potential, and also External Affairs Ministry of the country, India, entrusted us to study the business opportunities and infrastructure development between India and Bangladesh and other 3 countries which are sharing the border. So in the process, we thought that some of the loose ends, if they can be taken care of, I think the business will be grown faster. This BG rail link, of course, that is happening, and the east-west corridor, maybe that should be completed very fast, and other infrastructure. Especially resources in Barak Valley, all these 3 areas, Qatar, Hailakandi and Karimganj, they have a huge production of vegetables. And more than the requirement, more than 50% to 60% more than requirement. But the logistics are not available. See, for the fruits and fruits processing facilities are not available, food parks are not available, and for other fruits, etc., juice making or anything preservation is not available. So this area, I think we need to think, because Bangladesh, as they were rightly telling, we are supplying raw material, we are importing the finished goods, including the stones, etc. That was there in the speech of our finance minister. So, how to improve our manufacturing capacity, packaging capacity, these are all important things. And third thing is, major trade is happening mainly through land customs stations. So these land customs stations doesn't have full-fledged facility of cold storage and then all other facilities. So land ports should be developed. Investment is not a problem, but viable proposition should come from the government. Then some of the export marketing barriers are there, logistics barriers are there. So these, and another important thing, knowledge of information. The people who are producing in Barak Valley are producing in Bangladesh, in border areas, they doesn't know the demand, requirement, etc. Who requires it already. So to the extent possible, they are doing the business and leaving it. Recently, one unit came to me for advances. See, the kind of a capacity that fellow has got from the Bangladesh is enormous. But the kind of business they are doing is very, very minimal. So if you link up from Indian side and Bangladesh side, the kind of a business that can be, and another thing, informal trade is ज़्यादा है. Right from my State Bank days, I have been doing lot of informal trade. If we can bring them into the formal trade by explaining them how to go to LC, letter of credit, that system is not there. So if the LC system, proper export credit comes with very cheaper interest rate, but nobody is availing export credit because they don't know the system. So this knowledge gap is very huge on both the sides. And another thing I am telling you, excise people are coming heavily on them because Indian side publicity will be taken care of the Indian entrepreneur. That particular part of amount which he has spent on the advertisement will not be billed by the Bangladesh, which is not as per the law. So they are facing a lot of troubles. So I think this logistics and especially in the area of Barak Valley, the food processing parks are needed. There is a successful private food parks in Sonitpur district and even in Kamrup district. They are successfully running. I think the local legislators will give good importance for that. Then power supply. Bangladesh, why they are cheap? Even today, cement is cheap from Bangladesh. Why? They supply the power at cheaper rate, they supply the gas to the industries and the labor cost is less. So even today, 20 as amount I don't exactly remember, but cement is cheaper in Bangladesh than India. So these kind of a logistics, government of India and Assam government should see. And then I can come to the opportunities here. Friends, there is a huge development, especially the people, young generation from the Barak Valley or Assam. There is a huge development in the space of investments. Venture capitals are coming in large scale. Actually, I have 100 crore venture capital. I persuaded the Assam government to come up with a venture capital. They agreed, they declared, they are sanctioned 200 crores from Assam government, 25 crores from me, 25 crores from CB. 250 crores investment, they have venture capital, it is ready. And NRL has declared 30 crores as angel fund. Angel fund means when you teething troubles, if you are already taken care of, then when you are at takeoff stage, in between takeoff and then in between your POC, that is the amount they will give, that is the more risky. NRL is ready to give you the investment. So investment is not a problem. So I request youth to come forward to establish their entrepreneurs, especially in the area of food processing in Barak Valley. I am giving you assurance, food processing has got an enormous potential, huge raw material is available, we are unnecessarily wasting. And government of India should tweak some policies. Suppose this transport subsidy, it's only 20% they are giving. If the goods are to be carried from a remote place of Lunglei district or some other district, the cost is enormous. So government has to tweak that policy to see area-wise policy, area-wise the subsidy, and area-wise tax subsidy, area-wise capital subsidy. Instead of putting the entire Northeast in one basket, they should see state-wise policies. If that is given, I am telling you, Barak Valley is the best. As a banker, Barak Valley is the best in payment, despite their floods after 20, 25, 30 years, I don't know. Still, there is delinquency or the NPAs are very, very minimal in Barak Valley. So this is a very, very good news I am telling you. And lot of industries have come up. We have taken Barak Valley cement or iron. So many factories we have financed. It's not that valley is not prospering, but there are a lot of opportunities, especially in food processing area. You please come up with startups. We are there to invest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murthy. I think very enlightening. I think knowledge and awareness one. But I think the issue that you talked about, the investment sources that are available to exploit opportunities in the Barak Valley, I think that was absolutely outstanding. I'm sure people will get in touch with you after this. May I now kindly request Mr. Tahmeen Ahmed, President of the Sylhet Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Bangladesh, to please share his views. Over to you, Mr. Ahmed.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank, first of all, Silchar Festival chairman, and here is our discussion tables honorable guest in front of me, our Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momen. Actually, our time is really short, right? So, we are 75 years anniversary, we are celebrating, and we come here to celebrate our Silchar Festival. We are so glad. We really appreciate for you guys, and thanks for everyone to invite us to celebrate these events. Last night we invite some of our MPs says we can do in Sylhet, but I like to say our Foreign Minister to invite you guys to come to Sylhet to Silchar Sylhet Festival. So please, thank you everyone to invite to 21st Silchar Festival, and we can do it again. Now our discussion is a trade and investment. Actually, we have a 12 land border in Sylhet region, and there is some problem, and there is a lot of, we are always, like all are said every time, Sylhet and Silchar and Assam is a, Sylhet and Assam is a one city, one country. But 12 border, but we cannot export and import every item in every single border. I don't know why your government will policy make, but our importer and exporter, we are very determined to bring all the goods we need, all the goods you guys need. So we can export and import will be sharing same way, but at least we can send some items in your country, like our speaker says, cement or others items, we can export, but we cannot export the others borders, every other borders. So I like to Indian government, Narendra Modi ji, please give us the opportunity to every border we can export. Then one more thing, at least 10 years ago, there is a coal and stone in Assam and Sylhet. Only Sylhet people knows, all the Bangladeshi people knows stone and coal come from Sylhet. But now on, this opportunity is almost 75% go for in other countries. So this is, if we say this is a one country, so why we will give those business to other countries? So this is my question for you guys. Please give coals and stones, make easier for us and in our other port border, land border. You know the Jokiganj, Karimganj rivers is one Kushera rivers. We like to, want to make a bridge for us. So we say this is our success for this event. So I thank you very much inviting me here, and I thanks for Sylhet Chamber of Commerce and Industry to invite us and our media, our cultural events, and everybody is here for Silchar and Sylhet festival. So I like to thank again and again and again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. I think very good points made. I think there's a proposal for an interconnectivity project. I'm sure we will ask the ministers to take note of that for sure. And I think there are a certain amount of impediments. You mentioned about policy restrictions on certain amount of items which have to be done. So I presume the list that gets updated, I think on an yearly basis, needs to be done more often to take the interest of the people in mind along the various border hearts and the ICPs as far as we are concerned. Thank you very much. May I now request Mr. Ravi Patwa, the Chairman of Eastern India Regional Council, to please share his views with us.
Dignitaries on and off the days, ladies and gentlemen, a very happy afternoon. Happy, of course. Silchar Sylhet Summit is happening, and what a day to choose. I would not reiterate the importance of this day, which Momin sir has already done. Last year only we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the independence of Bangladesh, and we celebrated the 100th birth anniversary of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, a real statesman, a politician revered in both sides of the border, not only Bangladesh but also in India. My salam to him. We have been discussing about certain problems in Indo-Bangla trade. I am a positive person by birth, so I would start off with a positive note and then maybe shift to certain things which we may need to do. Sirs and madams, the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA, which is going to come very soon, has a potential to leapfrog the Indo-Bangla trade and Indo-Bangla commerce to more than $40 billion in present money terms. It has a potential to make Bangladesh the fourth largest business partner for India, and India the largest business partner for Bangladesh. And if this CEPA comes, which of course will have a forefront focus on connectivity and maintaining uninterrupted supply chain, on joint production of defense equipments, on exploring potential areas for investments, and on joint manufacturing of medicines and vaccines. Of course, it will also have importance on green technologies and renewables and information technology, digital platforms, etc. I would not go into the details of it because of the paucity of time. But I'll just like to pinpoint that if Indo-Bangla trade has a potential to grow that fast, then it is important to note for everybody in the Sylhet district of Bangladesh, you know, the erstwhile Sylhet district of Bangladesh, and Barat Valley region of India, what kind of development can take place in these areas. It can boost this region to, you know, a hub in the Southeast Asian trade. Now, already certain discussion has taken place on the waterways. I would just like to iterate here that water movement, inland water movement constitutes 20% of the total goods movement in Germany, 32% in Bangladesh, and in India it is 0.15%. Something very, very important to note. Just look at the potential which Indian waterways has. With 14,500 kilometers of waterways, we really need to develop the waterways in India if Indo-Bangla trade has to develop. I am very happy that, and we must also note the the pricing difference which Dr. Rajdip Roy has already informed us. 1 liter of fuel can transport goods up to 20 kilometers, and the same weight of goods can be transported by rail with 1 liter of fuel up to 80 kilometers, and if it is transported through water, it is more than 100 kilometers. Further, waterways creates the most number of employment opportunities. For two countries which are very, very vastly populated, India and Bangladesh, we must give importance to the waterways. And employment also becomes important at a time when in the last month in our country the employment rate has shot up to 8.09% from 7.15%. I'm very happy that the National Waterways 16 has come into being. It has been, and the work has started. Unfortunately, in the last couple of years, not much dredging work has happened in the National Waterways 16. We must look into that immediately, sirs. This 121 kilometers of stretch, which is navigable in Barak River, a part of India, out of 900 kilometers, almost 524 kilometers falls in India. Out of this, 403 kilometers is not navigable, it's in illiterate. 121 kilometers from Lakhipur to Bhanga is navigable. Unfortunately, only from Badarpur to Bhanga and the common area from Bhanga to Karimganj, where one side of the river is in Bangladesh and the other side is in India, the work has actually happened. From Lakhipur to Bhanga, the dredging work and other work for the development of the waterways needs to be expedited immediately. I think Manoj Pansar talked about the BIMSTEC agreement, BIMSTEC conclave. Of course, it's a very old one, but this Ranong port in Thailand, and it's connecting with Chennai, Vizag and Calcutta ports, has a potential to develop this, whole Southeast Asian economy into one economic zone. We need to learn from the failures of, Eurozone, but then let us not go back on it. Let Chittagong also be a part of it, Chittagong port also be a part of it, and if we can take care of the problems of Eurozone, we have a potential to make this one large economic zone which will take care of almost 1/4 of the population of world. Friends, the entrepreneurial efforts in Barak Valley has been hampered. Mainly, I believe, because of two reasons. One is lack of capacity building, and second is the inability to access the institutional support mechanism offered by the governments because of the lack of knowledge of it. Murthy sir rightly pointed out. Well, the Skill India and Northeast Skill Center schemes will go a long way in this, but in Barak Valley we need to do a lot of work on this. Barak Valley may not have developed much, but it is a storehouse of potential. The government of India, the government of Assam needs to nurture this valley, which can help the whole country and whole concept of Southeast Asia together. Of course, some important steps have been taken of late, like the multimodal logistic park proposal, like the Greenfield Airport proposal, and also the proposal to set up Indian Institute of Foreign Trade in Silchar. Well, before I conclude, I need to just pinpoint some important parameters, important things which needs to be taken care of for the Silchar and Kachar region to develop. One is hard infrastructure. A lot of work has been done on it. We need to do more. Easy cross-border accessibility of goods. These points we can discuss at length, but I am just pointing out the points. Yeah. Easy cross-border accessibility of people as well, along with cultural exchange. there are needs of some policy and procedural changes. Some of that have been discussed in the first session today. Then there is need for regular cultural exchange and interaction between the people of two countries, as well as between the trade bodies of the two countries and the two areas. Capacity building centers in important towns in both sides of the border. Like I said, in Barak Valley, capacity building is of utmost importance. I believe the similar thing may be there in Sylhet area as well. Improved communication mediums, waterways, railways, roadways. Also, direct road and rail connectivity through Bangladesh without going through the chicken's neck from Calcutta to Silchar and Calcutta to Agartala will go a long way in development of Indo-Bangla trade. Sir is there, I'm sure he'll look into this. Then enlightening entrepreneurs about the importance of value addition in product and services. Somehow, the entrepreneurs of these regions, especially in Barak Valley region, they need to be trained and enlightened about the concept of value addition in product, which can leapfrog their prices. They are losing out because of this. Enlightening to the youth of this region that services are a big business opportunity and not just goods. People only concentrate on goods, which is an impediment here. Sensitizing the youth about importance of use of information technology to be competitive and to reach out to larger masses. These are very, very important. And if I can point out, India and Nepal has a combined border and customs checkpoint since 2018. We should think of similar combined border checkpoints at Sutarkandi area for the road and similar other points for rail and water. So that, instead of checking at 2 points in both sides of the border, it is done at 1 point and the movement is expedited. One last thing for the people of Barak Valley. The Prime Minister has given a call for vocal for local. We need to understand it in depth. Since I am talking about Barak Valley and to the people of Barak Valley, sir, I will indulge in speaking a few words of Bengali and local Bengali. 25-30 বছর আগে সবের বাড়িতে বেতের ফার্নিচার আছিল, আজকে কার বাড়িতে আছে? সবে আমরা শীতল পাটি ইউজ করতাম, আজকে কে করে? We need to develop these artisans. We need to first start using these things, these local things. Let us become vocal for our local products and then take our local products to global. One very important thing I would like to share. India is doing a great job so far as sustainability is concerned. And I take pride in being the chairman of Eastern India Regional Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Our institute is doing a great job in sustainability as well, sirs. In the Climate Protection Performance Index 2023, India is in the 5th position in world today. And you would be amazed to find the countries which are doing worst. Those are the countries who are shouting from the rooftop that we developing countries need to go green. Whereas they are the countries which are polluting the environment for the whole world. The worst performers are USA, Canada and China. It's not Bangladesh, it's not India. We need to get united together at the world level and fight these developed countries who are pushing the ball to us and telling us to do things which they should be doing first. And while sitting over here, I wrote a couplet, just a couple of lines on my mobile. If you allow, I'll just read it. I'll end with this, friends. Sylhet and Silchar are parts of the same region. We are culturally one. By language we are one. We have been separated because of political reasons or whatever. Today, I would have this fervent call to this August gathering. বাড়িয়ে দাও তোমার হাত, আমি এবার তোমার আঙ্গুল ধরেই চলতে চাই। বাড়িয়ে দাও তোমার হাত, আমি এবার তোমার সাথেই হাঁটতে চাই। বাড়িয়ে দাও তোমার হাত, বাড়িয়ে দাও। Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot for the patient hearing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patwa. I think you've really covered a large span of issues, and thank you very much for pointing out from climate justice to sustainable linkages. I think you've covered it all. The requirement of an integrated, comprehensive economic policy, I think absolutely right, and the opportunities that exist in Bharat. I think you've actually covered a large spectrum and pointed out issues which are of concern today if we want to take trade and commerce to the next level. Thank you very much. And of course, we have to compliment your prowess in being able to write a couplet sitting out there. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. May I now please invite the last panelist today for today, Mr. Abu Tahir Mohammed Shoaib, ex-president of the Sylhet Chambers of Commerce and Industry, to share his views. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairman of the panel discussion, Mr. Arun Kumar Singh, Member of the Government Council India Foundation, Honorable Co-Chairman, Mr. Iqbal Rahim, Member of the Parliament, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon. আমি আমার বক্তব্যে দেওয়ার আগে একটি কথা বলি যেটা আমার খুব ইমোশনালি টাচড উইথ শিলচর। আমি যখন ছোট ছিলাম, আফটার দ্য লিবারেশন অফ বাংলাদেশ, তখন আমি জিজ্ঞেস করেছিলাম আমার বাবাকে যে আপনি কোন স্কুলে লেখাপড়া করেছেন। আমার মনে হয় যে সব ছেলে মেয়েদের এইটা জিজ্ঞাসা থাকে যে কোন স্কুলে লেখাপড়া করেছেন। উনি বলেছিলেন যে আমি নর্মাল স্কুল শিলচরে লেখাপড়া করেছি। ওই সময়টা ছিল আনডিভাইডেড বেঙ্গল, নাও উই আর ডিভাইডেড। তো তখন থেকেই আমার শিলচর আসার প্ল্যান ছিল, শিলচর বাবা যে স্কুলে লেখাপড়া করেছেন সেই স্কুলটা দেখার, এবং সত্যি সত্যি মাই ড্রিমস কামস ট্রু। অ্যান্ড আমরা সিলেট চেম্বার থেকে আমরা ডেলিগেশন নিয়ে মাননীয় পররাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী মহোদয়ের নেতৃত্বে আমরা এখানে এসেছি, এবং আজকে আমি আমার বাবার স্কুলটা পরিদর্শন করব, নর্মাল স্কুল। সো দ্যাট ইজ গ্রেট ফিলিং ফর মি, বিকজ শিলচর এবং সিলেট, গতকালকে আমরা বেরিয়েছিলাম, মনে হচ্ছিল যে আমরা সিলেটেই বসবাস করছি, আমরা শিলচরে নাই। কারণ আমাদের ভাষায়, সংস্কৃতি এক, কালচার এক, সব কিছু দিয়ে আমরা মনে করি যে আমরা এক সূত্রে গাঁথা। অনেক মানে আমাদের মাননীয় পররাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী ওনার বক্তব্যে আসলে ট্রেড অ্যান্ড কমার্স নিয়ে ইলাবোরেট ডিসকাশন করেছেন। একটু আগে আমার যে পূর্ববর্তী বক্তা যে বক্তব্য রেখেছে, এরপরে আর বক্তব্য দেওয়ার মতো সুযোগ থাকে না, বিকজ এক্সট্রিমলি ভালো বক্তব্য রেখে গেছেন অ্যাবাউট ট্রেড অ্যান্ড কমার্স। আমি শুধু একটি কথা বলবো, বিকজ লম্বা সময় অনেকক্ষণ আপনারা শুনছেন। সো সেটি হচ্ছে যে ট্রেড অ্যান্ড কমার্সের সাথে আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে সব থেকে বড় গুরুত্বপূর্ণ যে জিনিসটা হচ্ছে ট্যুরিজম। বিকজ সিলেট, শিলচর, সিলেট, আসাম, পৃথিবীর সবথেকে বড় গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিজনেস হচ্ছে এখন ট্যুরিজম। অলমোস্ট 60% ইন্ডাস্ট্রি আমরা ট্যুরিজম ইন্ডাস্ট্রিকে বলি, এবং এই বিজনেসটা আসছে ট্যুরিজম সেক্টর থেকে। আমরা যেহেতু সিলেট, শিলচর নিশ্চয়ই আমরা একই আত্মার, সুতরাং এখানে কারো নানার বাড়ি, কারো মামার বাড়ি, আমাদের শিলচরে অনেক লোক আছেন যাদের মামার বাড়ি, দাদার বাড়ি হচ্ছে সিলেটে। তো আমাদের এই বন্ডিংসটা আমাদেরকে ক্রিয়েট করতে হবে। আরেকটি জিনিস যে আমরা মাননীয় পররাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী ওনার বক্তব্যে বলেছেন যে there was an international airport in Sylhet, so it's directly flight from Sylhet to London, direct flight from Sylhet to Dubai and the other countries. So this is a golden opportunity to Silchar and the Assam people to go to Sylhet, to buy a Sylhet to London. So very easier communication, because Silchar এবং সিলেটের আসামে যারা লোক আছেন তারা ফ্লাই করতে হয় দিল্লি থেকে, ফ্লাই করতে হয় কলকাতা থেকে, তাদের ট্রেনে যেতে হয় প্রায় 2 দিন সময় লাগে। সো আমাদের আসাম এবং শিলচরের মানুষের জন্য ইজিয়ার হবে টু গো টু সিলেট and then go to London and Dubai and other districts. আরেকটি ব্যাপার আমি আমার কথা শেষ করব, সেটি হচ্ছে যে আমরা চাই আমাদের সেতু বন্ধন হোক। আমরা এখনো আমরা বেড়া দিয়ে রেখেছি, আমরা বলি যে আমরা একই আত্মার মানুষ। আমরা চাই যে বরাক নদীর উপরে করিমগঞ্জ এবং জকিগঞ্জের মধ্যে যে নদীটি আছে, ওই নদীটি যেন আমরা ইন্ডিয়ান গভর্নমেন্ট এবং বাংলাদেশ গভর্নমেন্ট মিলে যেন একটু সেতু তৈরি করা হয়, যেটা আমাদের ফ্রেন্ডশিপ সেতু হবে। এটা আমি মনে করি দ্যাট ওয়াজ আ ওয়ান্ডারফুল থিংস টু থিঙ্ক অ্যাবাউট দ্য টু গভর্নমেন্ট। সো এটা হলে আমাদের ট্রেড, এভরিথিং উইল বি ইজি for us. So thank you very much for patience hearing and welcome. আমি আগেই জানাচ্ছি যে আমাদের সিলেট চেম্বারের বর্তমান প্রেসিডেন্ট আপনাদেরকে সিলেটে আসার জন্য দাও দিয়ে আছেন। আমিও একই সুরে বলছি যে আমরা নেক্সট ফেস্টিভ্যাল ইনশাআল্লাহ আমরা শিলচর সিলেট ফেস্টিভ্যাল আমরা সিলেক্ট করব, যেহেতু মাননীয় পররাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী বলেছেন। এবং আমি ধন্যবাদ দিয়ে আমার বক্তব্য শেষ করব যে সিলেট শিলচর যে ফেস্টিভ্যাল যারা অর্গানাইজ করেছেন, ইন্ডিয়া ফাউন্ডেশন, তাদেরকে আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাই, বিকজ ইট ওয়াজ এ ট্রিমেন্ডাস এই প্রোগ্রামটা অর্গানাইজ করেছেন। ঢাকা থেকে শুরু করে, বর্ডার থেকে শুরু করে এখানে আসা পর্যন্ত ওনারা যে অতিথিতে দেখিয়েছেন, আমরা গ্লেড, এবং আমরা ওনার থেকে শিখেছি। আমি বিভিন্ন আমাদের ডেলিগেশন থেকে আমরা কথা বলেছি যে ওনারা যে ওয়েল বিহেভ করছেন আমাদের সাথে, আমরা আসলে শিকার ব্যাপার, বিকজ ইন্ডিয়া ইজ আ লার্জ কান্ট্রি। সো আমরা ওনাদের থেকে শিখছি এবং এটা ইনশাআল্লাহ আমরা শিখে নেক্সট ফেস্টিভ্যাল আমরা কাজে লাগাবো। ধন্যবাদ, সবাই ভালো থাকবেন। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
Thank you, Mr. Shoaib. I think touching from the emotional linkages to the future prospects for this great festival that has started yesterday, you also then shared your thoughts with respect to where the fundamental strength lies for the region, that is tourism. Thank you very much for sharing all your views and for your very encouraging words. Ladies and gentlemen, with this I am going to request now my co-chair, Mr. Iqbalur Rahim, Member of Parliament, Whip from the Bangladesh Parliament, to share his views. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, Lieutenant General Arun Kumar Sani, distinguished panelist speaker, our Honorable Foreign Minister, Janab Mr. A.K.M. Abdul Momen, my colleagues from Bangladesh, Member of Parliament, distinguished guests, political leaders, journalists, my best wishes to all of you, and Assalamu alaikum, Namaskar, very good afternoon. Silchar Assam Festival আসাম শিলচর সিলেট ফেস্টিভ্যাল। আমি সিলেটের মানুষ না, বাংলাদেশের উত্তরাঞ্চলের জনগণের একজন প্রতিনিধি হিসাবে, সংসদ সদস্য হিসাবে আমাকে এখানে আমন্ত্রণ জানানো হয়েছে। আমি এই কারণে ভারত সরকারের সংস্কৃতি বিষয়ক মন্ত্রণালয়, বিশেষ করে ইন্ডিয়া ফাউন্ডেশন, আসাম সরকারের কাছে আমি কৃতজ্ঞতা ব্যক্ত করছি। আমাদের পররাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী আজকে ট্রেড অ্যান্ড কমার্সের বিষয়ে যে আলোচনা হচ্ছে, এবং মিজোরামের মুখ্যমন্ত্রী, আসামের রাজ্যসভার মন্ত্রীবর্গ, জনপ্রতিনিধিরা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বক্তব্য রেখেছেন। উভয় দেশের জনগণের উন্নয়ন এবং নর্থ ইস্টার্ন জোনের সাথে বাংলাদেশের জনগণের সম্পর্কের উন্নয়ন এবং অর্থনৈতিক উন্নয়নের জন্য ভবিষ্যৎ কর্মপরিকল্পনা নির্ধারণের জন্য এই আলোচনা সভারও আয়োজন করেছেন শিলচর আসাম ফেস্টিভ্যালে। এই কারণে আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই আমাদের পররাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী আমাদের সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে বক্তব্য রেখেছেন, আমাদের ভবিষ্যৎ চিন্তাগুলিকে তুলে ধরেছেন। আমাদের বাংলাদেশের রাষ্ট্রদূত জনাব মোস্তাফিজুর রহমান সাহেব, উনিও বক্তব্য রেখেছেন, এবং ভবিষ্যতে আমরা এই অঞ্চলের মানুষ শুধু নয়, ভারতবর্ষের সাথে বাংলাদেশের সম্পর্ক কিভাবে আরো উন্নয়ন ঘটানো যায়, কিভাবে আরো অগ্রগতি ঘটানো যায়, এবং শুধু ভারত নয়, নেপাল, ভুটান এই অঞ্চলে স্থিতিশীলতা, সন্ত্রাসবাদ, উগ্র সন্ত্রাসী তৎপরতা বন্ধ করে এবং এগুলিকে প্রশ্রয় না দিয়ে এই অঞ্চলের শান্তি অক্ষুণ্ণ রাখা যায়, এবং শান্তি অক্ষুণ্ণ রেখে আমরা আমাদের এই দেশগুলিকে, উভয় দেশকে, এই ইস্টার্ন রিজনের সাথে আমাদের সম্পর্কের উন্নয়নের ক্ষেত্রে আমরা যাতে আরও এগিয়ে যেতে পারি। আজকে শিলচর আসাম ফেস্টিভ্যালে আমাদের যে আবেগের প্রকাশ হয়েছে, আমাদের হৃদয়ের যে প্রকাশ হয়েছে, আমি উত্তরবঙ্গের মানুষ, পশ্চিম দিনাজপুরের মানুষ, আপনাদের হিমালয়ের পাদদেশে এলাকা, নির্বাচনী এলাকা আমার, সেখান থেকেও আমার মনে হয়েছে যে শিলচর আর সিলেট 1947 সালে একটি সীমারেখা, ভৌগোলিক সীমারেখা দিয়ে তাদেরকে আলাদা করা হয়েছে, কিন্তু তাদের কৃষ্টি, সংস্কৃতি, তাদের খাবার, তাদের মন মানসিকতা, হৃদয়ের অনুভূতি, তাদের রবীন্দ্রনাথ, তাদের নজরুল, তাদের ভূপেন হাজারিকা সব একই সূত্রে গাঁথা। আমরা এই সম্পর্ককে আরো জোরদার করতে চাই। At the outset of my speech, I'd like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt thanks to the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, especially of Sri Surya Doval, Sri Ramin N. Desai, the organizers of this Silchar Sylhet Festival 2022, for inviting me. I'd like to express my gratitude to the organizer for making me the co-chair of this session. Bangladesh deeply remembers with gratitude the support that India extended to the people of Bangladesh during our liberation war in 1971, which we fought under the leadership of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. With due respect, we remember the then Indian government and meritorious soldiers of India who sacrificed their lives in our liberation war in 1971. We also thank the people of India, Silchar of India, Assam of India, who gave us shelter, food, training and political support during our liberation war. Bangladesh always considers India as a very close friend and attaches great importance to the relationship. The people of Bangladesh feel a close tie with the people of India due to our common history, shared culture and economic affairs. We all know that Nobel laureate poet Rabindranath Tagore wrote the national anthem of Bangladesh and India. Great poet Kazi Nazrul Islam and great singer Bhupen Hazarika are both very famous in Bangladesh and India. Now we have become a developing country under the leadership of Bangabandhu's daughter, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Bangladesh has achieved GDP growth rate of 8.13 in the fiscal year of 2019-20, which was consistently rising before the advent of COVID-19 pandemic. Bangladesh is the 31st largest economy of the world in terms of size of GDP. Apart from the economic growth, Bangladesh has also achieved remarkable success in social sectors. During the last 14 years, Bangladesh is on the way to graduate from LDC status and met all three criteria of graduation from LDC in 2018. Bangladesh is now a role model in the field of economic and social development. In regard of trade and commerce, I would like to say that Bangladesh and India enjoy excellent billion trade and economic relationship. India is the second largest trading partner of Bangladesh. Billion trade between Bangladesh and India has registered an impressive growth in recent years. We appreciate India's decision to allow duty-free market access to almost all products under SAFTA. Despite having steady growth of our export to India, trade gap between Bangladesh and India is heavily in favor of India. I would request both the countries and the concerned to keep a considerate thinking and take positive action so that the trade gap between is reduced to a minimal level. Bangladesh is now trying to diversify its exports both in terms of products and destination. In this case, Bangladesh considers the connectivity with Northeast India as a wonderful opportunity to trade on the essential items which are not available in Northeast India, which requires much amount of time and energy to bring from the main part of India. There is a good demand for various Bangladeshi products such as fish, dried fish, ready-made garments, plastic items, furniture, poultry items in the Seven Sisters of India. At the same time, as the resourceful hinterland of Bangladesh, Assam may use Chattogram and Mongla port in the near future. Apart from this, creating of joint tourism circuit between the Sylhet division of Bangladesh and the place of since beauties of Assam may be considered with the importance to avail maximum benefit from tourism sector, Bangladesh and Northeast India, particularly Assam, Meghalaya, need to design several tourism circuits on the basis of archaeology, religious sites, natural sites, famous academic organization for forest and commercial hubs. We believe that both the countries should work together to increase road connectivity among these areas for the trade and economic development. Assam and Bangladesh share 262 kilometers of border, and it is the need of the day to modernize border management in building trust and confidence among the young and promising business entrepreneurs and traders in the region. There are 26 land custom stations along with the border of Northeast India and Bangladesh, among which 9 fall along with Bangladesh-Assam border. Assam-based Numaligarh Refinery Limited to complete the construction of India-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline by end of this year. After the assassination of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, along with his family members in August 1975, his daughter committed to not to shelter the insurgents who tried to disable the Seven Sisters. When our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina came into power after many years, she unequivocally declared the terrority of Bangladesh can never be used for any insurgency group, and she kept her commitment. She talked to your Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi several times and took many steps to stop and kind of anti-Indian activities in Bangladesh, which is why now the entire region, including Northeast India, enjoys second sound sleep at night. We want to work together for economic development and peace of this region and to remove terrorism and other sub-risers activities. Before I conclude, let me again express my sincere thanks to festival organizer of Assam, the Ministry of Culture of India for the excellent arrangement. I wish success of the Sylhet Assam Silchar Sylhet Festival. Thank you, all of you. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu.
Before I do the summing up for this particular session, may I first acknowledge the very kind words and gracious wishes that were expressed by the Honorable Minister, Member of Parliament, the Chief Whip in the Bangladesh Parliament about the Indian Armed Forces being a former soldier. I fully appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. And we are indebted for the cooperation and friendship of our great neighbor, Bangladesh. As I said, all of us have an emotional linkage to these occasions. My father also participated in the 71 War for Independence that was there for Bangladesh. He operated in the axes of Khulna and Jessore. And I do plan that next time I come to Bangladesh, I'll make a visit to those places for nostalgic memories. Thank you very much, sir. Also, I think the issue about reiterating the firm commitment of the government and the political hierarchy to ensure that there is peace and stability in the region, which is an exact requirement for the economic development of this sub-region. I think thank you very much for reiterating that fact as well. Thank you, sir. We've had some immense points that came out by this very, very illustrious galaxy of speakers. I'm not going to be able to sum up all the points, but may I just flag two or three issues, a few issues that were highlighted. I think the issue related to Barak River, the opportunity that is linked to it, the investment opportunities, the developmental issues, the issues of connectivity to further trade and commerce were reiterated in different manners by different speakers. The issue of capacity building on both sides was very important, that if you need to increase the trade capacities, there needs to be similar linkages on both sides of the international border to ensure that the seamless integration happens. The seamless integration will further give impetus to the growing bonhomie of trade and commerce that is there between the two nations. I think Dr. Manoj Pant did talk about something which was very interesting about how to look at this trade deficit. I think this balance of trade needs to be looked at from a different viewpoint about the synergistic linkages between the raw material resources from India and the export dividends that are gained by Bangladesh. And maybe then we could address this issue which was, seems to come up in all conversations. I think the issues that you talked about, the technology exchange in textiles, the gas requirement for this region, I think was finally reiterated with this Numaligarh gas pipeline coming up. We would see certain amount of impetus as far as the energy security is concerned for this particular area. I think tourism was a common theme which everybody talked is the greatest strength. Whether we create clusters and regional, I would say, circuits, both whether it's religious, whether it is for religious tourism, whether it is for adventure and adventure tourism, whether it is just for spending time with nature and seeing the great flora and fauna of this combined part of the country, which is one of the global hotspots as far as bio hotspots of the world is concerned, I think it was very well taken by all. We talked about looking at the investment resources that are avenues of investment that entrepreneurs on both sides of the border could look at to try and take this to the next level. Knowledge and awareness of opportunities, government schemes, and awareness about that amongst the people who are the young entrepreneurs of today needs to be given greater impetus. Revision of the list at the border trade hearts, at the ICPs, need to be reviewed periodically to address the issues which are of concern for both the exporters and the importers on both sides of the border. I think the issue of waterways being the focus for future growth, which was highlighted in different manners by all speakers, I think deserves to be given great impetus both by the policymakers and by the regulators when we put up correct initiatives in place. I think I would also end by just stating that the issue on climate justice, sustainable developmental linkages, because Bangladesh is going to be the forefront for what happens with the hazards of this changing of global warming and climate change that is going to impact us, or started impacting us, but the intensity of this is going to keep going on in the years ahead. So sustainable linkages both in the supply chain and the developmental activities, utilization of waterways to cut down emissions, to delay and ensure that this global warming is impeded, that 1.5 degrees we can't beat, but maybe the 2 degrees centigrade global warming target can be defeated with the collaborative effort of all of us in these regions. And lastly, may I just say that we've been extremely thankful to this very, very attentive and I would say respectful audience who have sat through this late afternoon to be able to listen to all our speakers here. And I end by wanting to place on record on behalf of India Foundation, our gratitude to NETFI, NEC, Jeevan Institute of Medical Sciences for all their support in helping us organize this event and looking after our guests who have come in from across the border. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind, Joy Bangla. And may I, before we end, request all of you to give a big round of applause to the panel speakers for sharing their thoughts with us. Thank you very much. And with this, I will hand over to General Katoch, I think, for the necessary functioning.
Right. Thank you, General Sani. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of this session. I think it has been very, very focused, and it simply remains for me to thank both the chair and the co-chair and the 6 speakers for their very focused and detailed comments. I also thank NEDFI, NEC, and Jeevan Jyoti Medical Institute for the institutional support they have given to the Silchar Sylhet Festival 2022. Before we terminate, may I request the chair of the session, Lieutenant General A.K. Sani, to kindly facilitate the speakers from Bangladesh. General Sani? Mr. Taimin Ahmed, President, the Sylhet Chamber of Commerce and Industry. No. Mr. Ahmed, President, Sylhet Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Bangladesh. Ms. Shanata Roy, President, Sylhet Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And Mr. Abu Tahir Mohammad Shoaib, the former President, Sylhet Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Right. Now I request the co-chair, Mr. Iqbalur Rahim, Member of Parliament, Bangladesh, and the Chief Whip of the Bangladesh Parliament, to felicitate the Indian speakers. No, the Indian speakers. Thank you. Mr. Manoj Pant, Vice Chancellor, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. Right. And Mr. Ravi Patwa, Chairman, Institute of Internal Auditors, India. I now request Admiral Sinha to kindly come on stage to felicitate both the chair and the co-chair. One minute motion. Admiral Sinha, please. I request Admiral Sinha to felicitate the chair, Lieutenant General Arun Kumar Sani. I request Admiral Sinha to felicitate the co-chair, Shri Iqbalur Rahim, Member of Parliament, Bangladesh, and the Chief Whip, Bangladesh Parliament. The Whip, Bangladesh Parliament. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. With this, we move to lunch. Please be back here at 3 o'clock. There's also going to be a folk dance being held here shortly after this. So as soon as you finish your lunch, please come here and enjoy the folk dance. Over to you. Over for lunch.